What's going on, family? What's going on? It's Intellectual Gene Blue, episode one. All right. I am Mr. Best in the World, and I have my sister here, Gene Blue. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, we about to get into an interesting topic. Sis, how you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. I'm blessed to be here. Thank you for having me.
Definitely. All right. Now, as I always do my pre-records, I never tell my guests what my video is. Okay, it's always a surprise. You know what I'm saying? It's always intriguing, and yeah. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna bring the video up. All right. Can you still hear me, sis? Can you hear me?
Yes. Yep, I'm
Okay.
here.
Okay. I just want to make sure you can hear me. I thought I was struggle streaming, which happens from time to time, but I'm not. So let me bring up this video here. All right. So we got our brother here, and he's sharing some information with us. All right. Let me throw up my fair use banner. Fair use as always. Okay. And let's see what he got to say.
Drinks like this at all costs. If you walking around here with that big old ass belly and you want to get rid of it, you got to stop drinking these drinks, man. Drink number one is this Starbucks Frappuccino. A lot of y'all wondering why you're not losing that big old ass stomach. Dude, this one Frappuccino, this damn near a meal, man. It got 270 calories in it. You drinking the whole meal just drinking this. Stop it. The second one is these sweet teas, these Arizona sweet teas. All my Mr. Sweet Teas out there. You be eating healthy all day, but then your ass be drinking shit like this. Wonder why you can't get rid of that big old ass stomach. This got 240 calories in it. And then when we look at the sugar content, man. The sugar content, 58 grams of sugar. And you wonder why you can't lose that big ass stomach, man. Stop drinking shit like this. And you gotta stop drinking Red Bull, man. I know they say Red Bull give your ass wings, but you ain't gonna be able to fly nowhere if you got that big old ass stomach. Cut it out, bruh. Look at this. It got 50 grams of sugar in it, 210 calories overall. Man, y'all drinking your food. You drinking your snacks and your meals, drinking shit like this. Cut it out. You want to lose that big ass stomach? Man, drop a bicep emoji down in the comments below and I'll share more.
Wow.
Oh, wow. You
Wow.
know what? Wow. I mean, I love that he was real and authentic in
Yes.
who he is, right? So he's like not coming in and portraying to be something else. He's being who he is, whether using the cuss words or not. I mean, it's a little offensive, but if it's
Mm.
reality and what society can understand, but I kind of, what he's saying is true, and I think it really understands what society really does to us, right? I mean,
Hmm.
think about the economy, right? Things are
Mm.
so expensive right now, the inflation and everything. And so I was hanging out with a new friend yesterday, and I love really philosophical conversations. And one of the things randomly, we were talking about just how the inflation is, and he was like, "Do you know McDonald's doesn't have the dollar menu no more?" And I'm like, "I don't know, because I don't do McDonald's anymore. My children are way adults now, so I don't have to go through drive-through. Back then in the day, I did." But it just really shows of just like, wow. And knowing that the 99-cent stores are also closing too. So what does that mean with the economy that are closing in, things that were cheap but accessible but was not really healthy? And here we got someone here who's just like, but this is what America is allowing, is what's customed, right? Of like what we can afford, where can we go? I mean, McDonald's is not the healthiest, but back in the day, we definitely think it was. And you remember driving down the street or any highway, you see all those yellow M's, and it'd be like McDonald's because you could smell those fries. Now all of a sudden, you can't smell those fries, and it's just like things are
Mm.
really changing. And for him to go into the store and be like, these are the drinks we normally go to continue to give us energy. So if you notice, the ones that he really pulled had caffeine in it. So I'm not a caffeine drinker.
Yes.
I'm not a caffeine drinker no more. That's a whole long story
Mm.
why I'm not, but I do love tea, and I'm totally a water drinker, and I know the taste of different waters too. So that really does exist. That really does exist. The taste of water really does exist. But what he was pulling out was a lot of those drinks that have caffeine that keep you going, like the Red Bull, the Starbucks. I can't deny I used to be the ones back in the day to grab those Starbucks, filling up gas. I'm going in and I'm grabbing my Starbucks and I'm headed to work, right?
Oh, of course. Oh, definitely, yes.
Right? And I was like, that's a quick way because I don't have time to stop at the drive-through for Starbucks. That was way before we got the Starbucks app, right? And I'm like, these are all high calorie caffeine that get us motivated to feel that we can do more with more, right? So,
and then we crash. We crash at the end of the day.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then so what are we doing? We're filling ourselves up with all this caffeine, with all this sugar, and then we're busy at work, and we're driving, we're dropping off kids, or we're picking up kids, or we're busy at work, we're dealing with deadlines at work. We ain't got time to really focus on prepping meals or even thinking of being healthy and stuff. So I really like the video that he was real, that he was reaching out. The only reason why I say it was a little offensive is because, threw a little cuss words in there, but it's real. I like that. Be real. Be who you are. You don't have to change who you are to have to get your voice or your opinion out there. Everybody got different opinions. Everybody got different thoughts. So I thought that was kind of cool to give us a little insight of what he really was pulling, what he was really showing us. And he actually kind of made some sense with those drinks. So, yeah.
I think the big thing is, and I think the reason why he delivers so raw is so that people can really hear him. You know what I mean? And I know that's an unfortunate thing that we have to feel like we have to go to that route where we have to use, language that is vulgar to be heard. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, sometimes, I guess to reach certain audiences, I think he feels that he has to do that. But I mean, outside of that, I think the messaging that he's giving is definitely something that we have to take heed to, because at the end of the day, it's like, man, somebody said our kitchen should be our number, should be our hospital. You know what I'm saying? It should be the number one place we go to feel better. You know what I mean? It should be like a pharmacy. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times we have things in our kitchen that is detrimental to us. You know what I mean? It's literally killing us slowly. You know what I mean? And or deleting us slowly. We just cannot see that. You know what I mean? And it's sad because, like you were saying with the economy and inflation, and all these other things, sometimes that's all people can afford.
Yeah.
Is these low quality foods, or these low quality things that are impacting our health. And the amount of sugar and things they put in, and it's like, man, that's enough for like 3, 4, 5 people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Let alone just one person. So I think that that is definitely key. I think this is information that needs to be put out there. And the sad part about it is that, when we look today, or we look at TV today, or whatever we look at, we still gonna see a commercial with them, with them pushing these products. We're still gonna see a commercial with them advertising these things. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And when we see this, it's like, wow, like, why do we live in a country or in a system, you know what I mean, or an economy, you know what I mean, or a government that doesn't value our lives when it comes to what we eat, to what we consume.
Well, you know what I mean? That's all control, right? I mean, because if you really, I don't like to get into politics that much, but if you really look deep into our society and how it's shaped and how it's built, it's not built for the minority or the majority. It's not. It's built for the masses, right? I mean, look at all these houses and multi-million houses. Who can afford to pay $2.3 million for a house, right? I mean, now that my whole work schedule has changed, I'm looking into the market of kind of seeing what jobs are out there. And people that are really doing the work in the community are getting paid less than the people who are sitting on top. So we have to start educating ourselves. And I think that's where it starts, of just like educating ourselves, and the first video, well, before we started, you showed me something, and I really got to think that knowledge is power. And I love books. I love to read. I love to expand my mind and to really think of what's going on rather than relying on the TV and relying on the media, because they're only going to feed you what they want to feed you. And, they're only going to feed you what they want to feed you. And to me, television is more of like a programming, right? We're sitting in front. We want to zone out. We're going to indulge in whatever that's on there. But if we have control, right? What are the things that we have control over, right? We may not have control over what's really televised, but if you got some little streams, if you got some Netflix, if you got some Hulu, if you got some Prime, you do have some type of control of what you watch, and less commercials. You know what I'm saying? Less commercials. And so, back in the day, before we had all these streamings, it's so crazy to be in the type of world of where we're at right now, the type of decades. Because remember, back in the day where we used to come home from school and turn the channel, when I was in San Francisco, so we had channel 2, channel 4, channel 44, channel 20. That was it. We had no control of what was being viewed at all. We turned on the TV and that was it. But now we have to really think, what do we have control over that can help us benefit our minds, our mentally, our emotionally, and spiritually, right? And for someone, it's like resources are out there. I remember going to the library and you had to pull the index to look for a book. Like I said, I'm a reader.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I remember that, having a library card and all that. Yeah.
I mean, I still have a library card.
It's back right now, for real.
Right? Seriously. But now you don't even have to go to the library. You can look at things at our fingertips, right? How to make meals under $10. What there's tons of like cookbooks free on these streamings, how to make little meals for a whole family of 4 or 5 under $20, and which ways to shop. So I think it allows our brains to get out of the scarcity mode and more into what we value in ourselves, and and just really start thinking of our self-worth, of who we are, and start really seeing what resources and what control I have in my life to make my life better.
Okay, so I have a question, right? So my question is this, right? Do you think what we consume, right, as far as food or whatever else, right? You also talked about what we watch on TV. But as far as the food, right? Do you think what we consume as far as food, does that change our behaviors? Or can that manifest different behaviors or different spirits, right? So we definitely want to dig into the spiritual world when we do what we do, right? Do you think that different spirits or different behaviors are now manifested in us when we consume certain foods?
I do. And I know you were just talking about foods, but it just really goes back to television too. I don't really watch any horror or any supernatural or anything like that, because I do believe, spirits do be around us and stuff like that. And that mentality and that image, it's kind of imprinted in your mind. And for me, I know I have a visual picture. So those images constantly stay. And if those images is what breathes into my brain, into my mind, into my body, then that's what I'm going to be thinking about all the time. And that's where my spirit is going to be headed towards. So actually for food, to go back into the food, it does. Food is so important because we have to really think about when we're eating, and I remember back in the day, right, when being a single mom, our focus is only for survival and not for living, right? And now as you get older and you see your kids grow up, the whole change is like, wow, the quality of life as you get older becomes a little more scary because, we're no guarantee how long we're going to be here, and life is a blessing. So it all how you see life and what you put into your body, and know that your body is not a garbage disposal, but it's your temple. right?
Yep.
And what you're putting into your mouth and going
Mm.
into your body is nourishing your body and it's nourishing your mind, and it goes back to, well, how can I afford to eat healthy? You actually can. It's not expensive to
Mm.
really, it's not expensive to be a vegetarian or a vegetarian-ish per se, as something that I kind of do. And it's just really being in tone with your body. And that's where it comes back to, right? What we have control over. We have control of our
Mm-hmm.
body. We have control of what we put into
Mm.
our bodies because, yeah, when we, now that I'm getting older, I really notice that, I'm gluten free now. I can't digest
Okay.
all that bread, right? I can't eat
Mm-hmm.
all that bread, even though it says wheat and rye and all that stuff. But really, when it
Mm-hmm.
breaks down, it takes so long to break down to our bodies. And the only reason why I know that
Mm.
is because I love books and I do the research and we have internet and we can internet anything, any question,
Facts.
which is so
That's a fact.
amazing. Any
Yep.
question, anything that comes to our mind. So you just have to have that willpower to be like, I honor my body, I
Mm.
worship my temple, and I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
be more aware of what I put into my mouth because it's not only going to satisfy my belly, but it's going to nurture my body and my spirit too. And as we age, it ends up having a toll and effect on us too that we don't really think about. We're in our 30s or our 40s until we finally hit our 50s, and you're like, wow, did all that caffeine, did all that Starbucks that I got from the store, did all that Red Bull that I
Mm.
finally got now, is it hitting me now? I mean, we don't think
Mm.
about that until later on. But if you're at this age now is the time to really think about what we're consuming into our temple and really thinking how our body is. But it doesn't start until then the worthy of who you are.
Definitely, definitely. Well, listen, y'all. All right, we're not here for a long time, but we were here for a great time, and a time for us to build with you, right? So this is the Intellectual Gene Blue, episode 1. All right, we have some more content coming for y'all. Hey, we may drop something tomorrow. You never know. All right. With that being said, we definitely, appreciate y'all watching, y'all viewing, and definitely, man, just keep us, keep definitely, supporting the things that we put out here. We definitely appreciate you all. And definitely, you know what I mean? I definitely enjoy your comments. We definitely enjoy, when you give us that commentary, when you give us feedback, we definitely love it. And we will do our best, to respond back and to definitely let how we feel about, what is being said. And, let us know we also let you know what we're thinking about what you have said to us based on the content that we put out. With that being said, you know what I mean? We thank y'all for viewing, and we are out. Later, y'all.